Howdy folks, TJ here. How you doing today? Thought I would do a little bit of a Kickstarter update on the Speccy Next because they did just come out with an update. I'm not going to read verbatim what's on there, but I thought I'd talk about a few of the little finer points that kind of caught my eye. For example, what's that? Sinclair on-off switch, logoed. How cool. So that was one of the little benefits or pledge extras, bonuses that you received as we escalated that price to $1.5 kajillion or whatever it ended at. So very cool. They're showing a picture of what it's going to look like. It's got the Sinclair logo. Color up here for giving that little extra flavor that us specky folks like. Then below it, it shows a colorized SD card. Because if you own an Next already, you'll know that it doesn't have color. In fact, my card's over here. It's still pretty, but it's black and white. You probably can't pick that up. So they added color to it. Very cool. And they discuss in the Kickstarter update why it wasn't color the first time around. So I'm not going to read this stuff verbatim, but I thought I'd just talk about this update a little bit. It's titled Getting the New Parts in Shape. So let me just try to skim through it and cover a couple of things that popped out to me. The biggest is that they're talking about the updated board. So they're calling it the new board revision 2C. And they're working with somebody to improve the board, take care of any minor issues, maybe major issues. They do discuss what type of issues they were having. So one of the things that they popped up with said some minor fault issues will be corrected and a few major fault related to reduction of noise and radio frequency interference. So if you own a Next, you probably hear, if you're using external speakers, some crackles and pops. If you've watched any of my videos, you'll see I go into the command line and I type a little bit of information. And thank you to Matt Davies. He, I think, put a note on the Next group many moons ago about how to turn off the Wi-Fi and see if that corrected your crackles and pops issue. Well, it did for me, and I'm sure everybody else. So when I don't want to hear crackles and pops and I don't need to do anything Wi-Fi related, I turn it off. So that is going to be, it looks like, hopefully, taken care of with this update. I think that's probably considered a major one because most people don't want to have to lose a feature, Wi-Fi or whatever, to take care of some type of annoying interference. So hopefully the board corrects that. So I'm happy Kickstarter 1 owner. And if this Kickstarter 2 board takes care of that, I'm happy to own both. So kind of cool. So that's a major update that they're going to do. So they talk about working with an outside bureau to work with them on fixing things up. So read for yourself about all of that. I'm not going to go into that verbatim, but I wanted to show the picture of these new items. So in here, let me find where they chat about something even cooler, which is what caught my eye. Let's see. One odd bit. You didn't know this, but at one point during the Kickstarter, KS, campaign, we had a protective cover as a stretch goal. I never saw that. I don't remember that because it said you didn't know this, right? That's why. We couldn't produce the samples and get the cost and time to add it as a stretch, but afterwards, they came in, and they look great. Not to miss an opportunity, we'll order them and make them available at the shop. So for anyone wishing for a nice, rigid protective cover with the official Next branding, well, they're going to become available. So I'm trying to think, rigid cover. So this doesn't sound like a soft dust cover. I'm doing that a lot today. But it sounds like a plastic cover of some kind with Next branding that's going to go over it. So I'm trying to imagine, is it just going to be perfectly fit over with slots for like a couple cutouts for where the joysticks are in the front, so when you put the protective cover over, there's little notches there, so it doesn't mean you have to unplug stuff. Is it 2 or 3 or 4 inches bigger, so everything in the back stays connected? Hopefully they show a picture of it. They didn't show a picture of it. They said they had it, So it would have been cool if you would have shown a picture. But maybe it wasn't finished enough for them to do that. But excuse my hacking. I've got real bad allergies today. So how are they going to do this protective cover? I can't wait to see. I own one next now. Will own two because I'm on the Kickstarter. And wondering what this protective cover is going to look like. Rigid plastic. Hopefully they do have some strategically cut holes where you put it over and it protects it from dust. Because I get the common people responding to my video. I think it's, I'm trying to remember his name. Dolphin? Something Dolphin? Matthew Dolphin? I forget names and stuff. But he's always saying, dang, dust off your QL and dust off this. I am terrible at dusting. I live out here in the mountains of California. My wife and I'll admit, we're not good dusters. We do periodically dust, but it's not like once a week I all of a sudden say, oh, it's time to dust. I hate dust. I don't want to dust. I want to go out and play around. So once in a while, I'll kind of clean stuff off. But if I have a protective cover, that will save me from having to dust my next at least. It would really be cool if we had some other ones. You'll see that this under here, this is a television t-shirt. I've got that covering my toast rack. Nothing covering this, but yeah, I'd love to have some, you know what I wouldn't mind? A big towel-sized blanket. Towel, like one that you take to a beach that has Sinclair on it, and just take one big towel and go whoosh and throw it over the top of everything, and that keeps it dust-free. Yeah, smart idea, huh? Rather than have individual ones. But I still want to get the specky next one. Start your engines running. How is this plastic or rigid? I shouldn't say plastic because it just says rigid, but it's got to be plastic. How is it going to look? What's it going to cover? How is it going to be accessed? It just slips right off. So anyway, that was the thing that jumped out at me the most. Then they talk about a whole bunch of different video games and such. I'm not here to read stuff verbatim to you. You guys go check it out. Obviously, the Kickstarter page has all the updates. I definitely recommend keeping an eye peeled on that. But what stuck out to me was these cool doohickeys that are going to be coming with our Kickstarter too, that you can buy a next now directly from their website, or pre-order, I should say. Hey, I didn't do this, but I guess I just did. So order one if you haven't, or order a second one if you want that second one. Major, they use the word major, update to the motherboard, so they are shifting stuff around, playing around with things to hopefully improve the board. They did also use the word, I think, performance. Let me quickly look here. We've hired an electronics design bureau. The bureau has evaluated the performance of the 2B board. They proposed some changes, some good practice changes. I know I saw the word performance in here someplace. I'll probably find it right after I get off the video here. But anyway, they said they're tweaking some things to make it better. So there you go. Buy it next. Go to their website. Look at the goodies we get. Start thinking, what the heck's this cool dust cover going to look like? And what's after this? Well, to tell you the truth, in my mind this early on, oh, yeah, I do remember something. So he said they're going to start building them in January. And if you remember right, the date is August. Where are we supposed to get them? Something tells me we're going to get the next earlier than August. I don't know why, but if they're building them in January, good sign that we may get it early. So anyway, we'll leave the video at that. I'll think of some other things probably after I click off. But anyway, check out the Kickstarter update and look forward to hearing discussions down below if you want to say what this rigid case is going to look like. And yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. See ya.